morning. It's the 13th of January 2022. It's exciting, at the same time it's a bit gloomy for me because 9 years ago my father passed, and I remembered yesterday, and I looked at it and I rolled it in my head, and I'm like, oh my God, it's been 9 years of missing that enigma, that human description of God that was in my life as a little girl, all the way till adolescence, all the way till becoming an adult. The man whose thought processes and whose opinions helped to form mine and that of my siblings. The man who made so much difference. He was actually a daddy, a father, a best friend. So yes, I know my siblings will cry this morning, but I do miss him, like terribly miss him. But to his memories, I do say that I know quite a number of people had brushes with him while he was living, and they all always talk about what kind of father he was, even to people who were not his direct children. So yes, I miss him. I do miss him. All right, it's the bumper breakfast this morning, and I had to just do a little tribute to the man who gave me, brought me into the world. The man who, they call this man, do not know, but in this case, the man who was the engineer, who was the person God used to bring this person into the world. It will be fine. It will definitely be fine. I have Mr. Fatuke joining me on the bumper breakfast table this morning. Mr. Akin Fatuke is a regular on the show. He is, an elder statesman. He's an accountant by profession, and is one of the few set of people that I have the rare privilege, and I think I should call it that, the rare privilege to call daddy, because daddy after daddy. Some people just come into your life and, occupy a space and then fit into that space. They don't just get the title, they get to own the title and display the virtues associated with the title. Good morning, Mr. Fatuke, this morning.
Thank you very much, Tomi Singh. I agree with you absolutely. That's a rare privilege to sit with you on a regular basis, and I hope I will not be breaking any rules. To also say that this is not the only place I visit in my regular intervention into public cultural life, television-wise and radio-wise, home and abroad. And I will be very frank to say that each time I come and I guest with you, I always see something that I take away with me by way of something just different. I also hope I will not be breaking some set protocols to also state that this is MITV, and I know that, like other television channels,
Stations, yes.
there will always be your challenges from the environment, challenges from internal, and challenges from elsewhere. I also happen to know, looking at you, for elders and for people who have a third eye, will be able to discern what I am saying, that I'm very sure that, like myself, you have challenges yourself.
Yes.
But day in, day out, you come, you inspire. I know I'm not taking your permission to say this, but I see young ladies surrounding you, and I always ask, what are these people doing? And you say, you coach them, you mentor them. I always see happiness with them. I am sure you're not paying them gold, silver, or bronze, but they're always there, going out there to show community reports. I think that is good for you, and my prayer is that the Almighty God, in its infinite mercies, will reward you, because I think you are such tremendous mentor to your dad that you are remembering today. There is the psychoanalytical concept called the Oedipus complex. Oedipus complex, Oedipus complex. The Oedipus complex is a situation where a female child so very much attached to the father and vice versa. So the male, the son, is very close and attached to. I see the Oedipus complex here. For you to make those statements that you made, I think it's a challenge to a lot of us. Hopefully, a lot of men will be watching here. How many of us will, in the course of time, after we are departed, or even while we are living, that our daughters, far away from us, will be able to make the kind of statement that she's made? I think it's a challenge. I am not going to be a pretender. It is not something that you find very often. She will come on, and then of course she will cry her eyes out, whatever it is, and then she will not be proud to bring it on national television. You have done a great thing to the memory of your dad. For your siblings, I think they should be proud of you. For your mom, I pray that the Almighty God will continue to bless you. Thank you very much. Good morning, our listeners. It's nice to be here.
Finally, the front page story of the Guardian newspaper this morning is very interesting. Nigerians, pick up your phones like I will do this morning, sign in to your Twitter as the federal government has lifted Twitter ban after 222 days, 546.5 billion naira economic losses. Wow. Seriously, it's a wow. Stakeholders are divided, say the federal government should not gag the platform. ECOWAS court plans to deliver judgment next week. We never left Twitter. Nigerians are telling the federal government, we never left Twitter. I don't know how to use that VPN thing. I just know that I just could not use Twitter all through that period of time. But Nigerians, join me this morning as we all try to sign into our Twitter and see, if it will work. I mean, my own is even telling me to reset password right now. Mr. Pasuke, have you been on Twitter?
Yes, I was on Twitter. And yes, overtures were made to me, and that truth be told, that I should go via VPN. I chose not to, and that's the truth. I chose not to because I said to myself that no matter what, it was not going to be what we now found to be 222 days. And by the way, 222, was that deliberate? Could it have been coincidence? Just to mark
222.
Yes, I decided I was not going to do it for two reasons. The first is the altruistic reasons that came from government. Number one, Twitter, for some self-immolating factors, decided to bypass us and go to Ghana. I have no problem with Ghanaians, but I thought it was a big indictment. It's not going to be the very first time. Obama came to Africa and shunned Nigeria, was in Ghana and elsewhere because we didn't get our governance right.
Correctly.
Okay, so I said to myself, well, Twitter might have a point, but that point, I am going to be patriotic. I am.
Irrespective of what my government is doing, I'm just going to go with them.
Secondly, as an accountant and somebody who follows due process in governance, I also felt that Twitter was making a lot of money from Nigeria, the most populous black nation, just like in India. And they had problems in India also. I felt the principle of CSR is such that if you are making money from somewhere, you should have something that you should put back. Yeah, yes, you could say yes. Technology transfer, job transfer. Nigerians are good. Not everybody is going to be Tommy Singh, high flyer. There are low flyers who are only just waiting for that opportunity to come. And under our CAMA, Companies and Allied Matters Act, and our taxation laws, our SITA, it is clear that certain things should happen by way of definition, even though we have confusion here and there.
Yes.
I felt Nigeria could make some good money if we are properly structured. But on the other side of it, the monies we are making, the tax that we are collecting, are we getting value for money? So that's were the two reasons why I did not decide to go. And the third reason was the fact that I thought it was going to be something that we are going to resolve. Nigeria made so much noise. I am aware that 40-something billion that you lost, that Twitter was banned, not necessarily because of these altruistic things that I mentioned, but because of an ego of a government issue surrounding, they said it is security issue during the NSAS things, and that Muhammadu Buhari made a tweet, and then the tweet was brought down. I thought it was the most pretender and albeit almost idiotic reason, and I'm talking serious now, I'm not abusing anybody, idiotic reason anybody could have mentioned. I think it was strictly because of an ego problem, of an ineffective maladministration, that somebody now then says, do you know who I am? And then you decide to pull down. If you pull down for 1 month, pull down for 2 months, how long does it take before Jack Dorsey, threw in the towel? There were things we could have just discussed, pim, pam, pim, not wait for 222 days. Congratulations that Otto von Bismarck said, too little, too late. Yes, very late. I hope enough lessons will have been learned on both sides. We cannot be taken for granted. There is no doubt about that.
Yes.
We should be allowed to internally decide our politics in this country only if we get our acts right.
Right.
Respect is earned. It's not given.
It's not given. A la carte. It's not even served. A la carte. All right, Nigerians tired of killing, says Lawan. Still looking at the top stories on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Now, have declared for 2023 presidency, Igbo politicians, technocrats urged. Right? You have another one, gunmen killed 21 in Plateau community. Now, this is really sad. Buhari marking the others pay tribute as Nigerians mourn the late Oyo State Governor, Alao Akala. COVID-19 summit urges Nigeria to galvanize other nations to seek debt relief. IMF wants global collaboration to boost Africa's vaccination drive. Right, resign now. Diri tells appointees eyeing elective offices. That's coming. Let's talk a little bit about this. You want to eye an elective office, and Doye Diri saying that people should resign. Does that? Is it time?
Well, my bay is, in Nigeria, if you're going to do something in June, you better start sensitizing people from January.
Yes,
I think it's a thing with us. Don't wait until that time. Maybe that communication might be a little faulty. You should exactly say that if you want to go into elective office, you should start the process of winding up. And there is management of change. It's not just one bang, bam. No. Governance must continue. Somebody might need to understudy you. Okay, it may not necessarily be your subordinates. Government might need to adjust a couple of things. Management of information process is such that it must be that you are with sensitive information, you are committed to doing that. But it should not be something that at the end of the day you now then say with a kind of decree. I have seen situations where we have not seen people lead by example. And what they say is, do what I say and not necessarily
what I do.
What I do. There is nothing that you are going to be telling people that you should not be able to meet out to yourself. Pure and simple.
The Nation newspaper, where we go next this morning, and it's all about bandits. I find it difficult to understand why you're saying bandits here, because the federal government has finally, released the gazette that says the bandits are now terrorists and they should be referred to as such. Bandits killed 51, burn houses in attacks on communities, many fed kidnapped on Abuja-Kaduna Highway. Defense Minister in Zamfara. President orders sustained military onslaught. Lawan, Nigerians want action, not excuses. 14 of bodies of 34 persons killed in Niger's Nakuna and Wurukuchi communities were found in bushes and farms. The gunmen struck communities in Niger and Plateau State, killing about 51 residents of these various communities before fleeing unchallenged. There's no point using the word fleeing, because before leaving the scene of the massacre, they were unchallenged. That's the point there. 14 of them were said to be members of 2 different families. 14 of the people were killed. 17 others were killed in Anja, Bassa local government area of Plateau State by the gunmen, who also set many houses ablaze. Now, other reports also emerged that traders were kidnapped along the Benin-Gwari-Kaduna Highway. The attacks in Niger and Plateau were confirmed by the police commissioner on Monday. Couriers and Operation Safe Haven commander Major General I.S. Ali, they did not dispute the figures.
If there is any scorecard that we have in the present regime of retired General Muhammadu Buhari, that is crimson. They say crimson is red. Whoever gave that synonym perhaps was looking for something much more deep. By way of failure, it is the lack of capacity and the will, the sense, both common and intense, to secure lives and property. The regime has failed woefully. Nigeria, by extension, has also failed woefully. But there's absolutely nothing that is happening within the last 6-7 years that didn't have a root cause on the way and manner we have administered population, out of children, school children, the Almajiri system, our corruption, lack of doing what we need to do, what we need to do. You said you are surprised that the banners are still talking about bandits. It therefore means, by my own reading and reckoning, that yes, it's true. Legally speaking, you call them terrorists. They have not only infiltrated, you still, in my mind, are treating them with relative kid gloves. I give it to the president and the military onslaught. But don't forget, as the military onslaught is happening in certain parts, they are finding their way down to some other parts. Do we have a comprehensive strategy to really cope? And the only comprehensive strategy that they can use to cope, again, is a low-hanging fruit. And what is it? We must restructure. Whether the police system, whether the Nigerian system, we must get back to restructuring. So all this talk about, I don't believe in state police. I don't know if that is the answer per se. I don't believe in restructuring. Nigeria is united, is unified. For as long as we continually say that, means that we are really not careful. And may I just say this? I'm not scaring anybody. When Boko Haram started, I remember Kits and King in the south kept on pointing a finger and saying, it's happening out there. Enough is happening out there. A lot of intelligence, security was saying, this thing is going to percolate. It's going to... And then we had the herdsmen, all this all going. So a lot of the things that is happening in the north, we will be kidding ourselves. It's happening already in Ondo, it's happening in Ogun. Even Center of Excellence, Lagos, that this is coming gradual by gradual, as somebody will say. Gradually is coming, and nothing is going to be said about it. What I find irksome, IRKSOM,
Yes.
what I find irksome is a situation where governors don't feel it. We still are smiling, and people are dying on a regular daily basis.
And which brings me, Mr. Fatunke, to the fact that I must celebrate this governor. I usually talk about him a lot. Professor Babagana Zulum, Umara Zulum. Yesterday, he signed the Child's Rights Act into law. I think that was yesterday or 2 days ago. And that's one thing that we've been looking for, the Child Rights Act being domesticated across the states of the Federation. So yes, thank you very much. Thank you for doing that great feat. But now, he's been raising alarm for quite a while. Boko Haram is still here, Now he's talking about ISWAP increasing presence in Borno State. He spoke to the Senate Committee on Army, headed by Senator Muhammad Ali Ndume, who I know has been making a whole lot of noise in the Senate chambers about insecurity and why it needs to be dealt with decisively. This is one governor who has said he will continue to talk about it. Now, I want to quote him exactly what he said. We do hope that you will interface with the hierarchy of the Nigerian army with a view to addressing the grey areas that have been in existence in our dear state. I'm pleased to inform you that the government and the people of Borno State have started witnessing a gradual return of peace. And this is the first time I have been making such a statement whenever I receive any Senate or national delegation on army and security matters, because I have no gainsaying the wrong things. Now, he has been in the struggle, so we have been in the struggle for 11 years, and the thank the Almighty Allah for relative peace that they are enjoying now. However, there is increasing presence of ISWAP terrorists in the state, especially in southern Borno and parts of Core Northern Borno State.
Clearly, let's situate it. If there is any state, if there are a set of people who then, now, and looks like in the future will blindly give President Muhammadu Buhari support, it is Borno State. That's number one.
Yes.
So even if he's seen as doing the wrong thing, the blind followership that comes from that segment is you can't just quantify it. Secondly, Professor Zulum, like you rightly have said, takes a lot of grit for you, whether blindly, whether I myself, this is our Messiah, this is next to Moses, this is next to, to now then just come out and stand and decide to say the truth is very rare. In other words, I'm making this point. During Awolowo's time, of course, we had renegades. We had Awolowo, Akitola, we had this and that. But it's almost an anathema for you to now rise up and then look at Awolowo in the face for one reason or the other and say, Papa Awolowo, you are next to nothing in terms of. In the East, we also had that. People had this bit of a cult following. And may I also say that Nnamdi Kanu, likewise, has this cult following. If he coughs, the whole of a section gets the cold. But amongst those enclaves, or back in the day of Ahmadu Bello, it is just not. Rather, you just close your eyes. And for Zulum to come out, I know I support you. A few months ago, I still said quite a number of positive things about you. However, it's what? 2 local government areas, 2, not 2, just 2 cities, 2 local government areas out of 772 that we have. Remember, we lost 2 to Bagassi. Yeah. We don't know the money they allocate.
But we keep hearing
allocation is still
that's
going
something
to
we still need to talk about. 774 local governments we keep hearing,
allocation,
and we have only 772.
So 2 are in the hands of Boko Haram, and it's coming out to say, Mr. President, ISWAP is taking over. He's made it true. Now, it's not only just talking. One other thing that we must understand about Professor Zulu is that he has walked the talk. Quite a number of times will have been killed. He got out in there. Not one of the governors that will be staying in Abuja and...
I mean, 2 governors who have been attacked twice, so Zulu
not
and...
local government chairmen, even in areas in the south, who, even in Lagos, they don't stay in their local government areas, they stay elsewhere. For such men, they are rare. And those are the kind of people that has given a bit of a semblance. And also saying, Mr. President, despite all the support I give to you, you have failed. Okay, we have failed. I tell you, the kind of support that Mr. President gets from Borno, I tell you, he cannot get it in Katsina. He cannot get it in his home state, Katsina. And despite all that, I see situations where people, well, maybe there are daggers in men's smiles. I see them smiling on what? When Nigeria is going the way it is going. Before I know, say Jack Robinson, people nowadays say during Jonathan's time, they had quite a number of Goza and some of the other places were taken. But if just one is taken under your nose, it's more than a sign of terrible failure. On security, lives and property, to be able to attract the desired foreign investments into Nigeria under the guise of corruption and under the guise of I've tried my best, I think the jury is out. We haven't done well, and I just pray that as Zulum has mentioned that, and as Ndume has continually shouted for times that he cannot go to his local government for the better part of his stewardship in the Senate, I imagine what the Holy Poly, the people out there, will be facing. Grief, angst, tears, blood, sorrow. And may the Lord, in his infinite mercy, give us men and women to be able to rise up to the occasion and do this. And they are low-hanging fruits. I just told you.
Yeah, low-hanging fruits.
It's not by saying Abuja and say certain things will not happen and all that. You're smiling. People are coming to you to come and declare here and there, and you think that is governance. You are smoking when your Rome or your Nigeria is burning, like Nehru. Most unfortunate.
Yes, we've been taking a look at the stories in the papers, and coming up next is Community Report. Let me take a very tiny break. We'll be back with a first video, and we're focusing on Ayetoro Budo. We looked at the community, and then members of the community sent me a video of what happened November 15th, 2021 to their road. This video will shock you, but I want you to see the before. That's the current state of their drainages and all that, and then you now see what the road looks like when a little bit of rain falls. That created a path for itself and then found a way to just go. I don't get it, because if this is meant to be a drainage, this is just the typical. I'm just showing you some of the clips that you watched 2 days ago. This is what it looks like. Now, this is the community itself, inward into the community, and this is what they have done. Now, this plank bridge you're looking at is supposed to lead into a street. So the members of that, the people who live on that street, the residents, created this bridge for themselves so that they can drive their vehicles or possibly use their feet to cross into their street, parking their vehicles by the side of the road. Now, the next video you're going to look at, this is what happened November 15, 2021, when it rained at Makpo Junction. Now, Makpo Junction is that junction. Immediately you leave Ayobo and you get to the bridge constructed by former Governor Akinwumi Ambode, which I was talking about 2 days ago. You would see that bridge. Now, immediately you go past that bridge, you will get into the road that goes to Yano Itele, that goes to Itele, and goes into other parts of Ogun State. One verse to the right goes to Ayetoro Obudo, the other one goes to the left, goes to Itele and other communities. At that junction, people were almost carried away by flood on the 15th of November 2021. So if something is not done about that road now that it is not raining, this is what people would experience when it does rain.
Àánú màmá yẹn ṣe ní Ọlọ́run ló ní kó tètè gbé.
Tó ní bá gbé bọ̀bọ̀ yìí, á yí ẹ̀kọ́ ní tíra ẹ̀. Bàbá ẹ bá wa pòsì ẹ̀ sí gómìnà wa.
Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí wọ́n gbọ́.
Pẹ̀lú
Eléyìí kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ o.
ṣe rí. Mo láìkí wo ẹ wà bí o tó bá ti ṣẹ́tù pẹ́ lọ.
A ti tó 2.5 hours níbi.
Ẹ pòsì ẹ̀ ṣẹ́.
A day's rain. A majority of the people in that community had to stay for at least 2 hours inside of this water. They could not move. The person who took this video was in his vehicle coming out of Ayetoro, going to Ayobo, but they still could not move. Now, this is how they move. They have to hold one another tightly so that nobody goes with the water. This is Ogun State, but this is just behind Lagos. As a matter of fact, just 1 minute from Lagos. A minute.
I really wonder, in a situation where we do not even know how many we are, take a census, apart from the fact that you have 4 children, 5 children, you know, and you know what you have. How can anybody prove to me, from what you just showed, that lives that cannot be accounted for
We're not lost.
I could see the huddle. I could see people. And then at the end of the day, don't forget, in the period of politicking, they'll be expecting
Exactly
them,
the point.
they will not get their, they'll go get their votes, rape them, and then expect them.
That was another question we had to ask. You know, do people live in this community? Yes. Do officials or politicians visit during an election? The question is, you know, there, but the answer is a capital yes, an echoing yes.
And do the people have the right health status, have the right education?
They don't have
to
a single
know-
primary school.
To know that their votes should count, or is it a situation where they come and rape the whole lot every 4 years, go away with it, and then we keep on? You see, point is, you don't have to be in school really to have some measure of common sense to ask some very hard questions. I expect when representatives go out there to go canvass for votes here, I think somebody should be able to rise up and say, what exactly is it that you are coming to ask us for, that you have not asked us for in past years and we've seen nothing? What is your plan for this area? All this central government that we do, you know, you say even state government, local government, we are not devolving governance in such a way that the average common man will be able to benefit.
This is our daughter local government
It
area.
means we have a template that we are running that will take us nowhere. Go bring an angel. Go bring. If you don't believe in angels, go bring a devil to come and do Robin Hood we will not get anywhere until we decide that we are going to restructure the whole of this. There were parts of India that was looking like this, but today they are getting an infrastructure development such that you will not believe there is an economic advantage in this area.
Very true.
And it's waiting for it to be harnessed.
To be tapped.
Let private capital come and take full control